Alright, so we're here on episode 8 of season 1 of Following Christ. The message of this video is your belief, right? In the Bible, it speaks of this story somewhere. It speaks of this story where this woman had so much faith in Jesus. I'm sure you've heard it. She had so much faith in Jesus that she believed she would be healed by just being able to touch the garment, his garment. Jesus was walking on the street, and she was behind, and she had been suffering for 12 years. And then she touched a little fragment of his garment, and she was healed. She was healed by faith and belief. And Jesus turned around. It's like, you were forgiven, blah, blah, blah. But it says here. And then in the show, the Chosen has this Roman soldier of sorts, more in the upper echelon of the responsibility of the ranks. I believe they call him Gaius. And here, Matthew 7:14, 8. Right, so it's 7:14, 8, and then go back down to 8. It says, the centurion answered and said, Lord, I am not worthy, and thou shouldest come under my roof, but speak the word only, and my servant shall be healed. And so in the Chosen, this Gaius character had a wife and had a child, and said that, and he had been unfaithful to his wife and had a child with his servant, in which I don't. It's probably in here somewhere, but I didn't come across it. But anyway, the servant boy is sick. He's been sick for over a month from in the show, and it in the Chosen, it showed Gaius's journey from just being a mere Roman soldier and just following Matthew around, one of the disciples, as when Matthew was the tax collector. He was his bodyguard of sorts, because people didn't they were disgraced by the tax collectors. Like Matthew's family was not very upset. Let me phrase that, was very upset with him and disgraced him for that because he harmed their people so much. And so that's why he needed a bodyguard. But as Matthew, hold on, let me see if I can find it here. Here it is. Matthew 7:14, 9, 9. Follow me. Jesus passed forth from thence. He saw a man named Matthew sitting at the receipt of custom, and he saith unto him, Follow me. And Matthew arose and followed him. That's when Matthew started following Jesus. Gaius was sort of friendly to Matthew the whole time. He began to meet Simon, which is now called Peter, and kind of fall out throughout the journey, stayed accustomed to him until finally he's like, I've seen so many things. I have to believe. I have faith. And actually, Jesus was very impressed by Gaius, right? So let's go back to Matthew 7:14-8. Let's go down to here. I will come and heal him. The centurion answered and said, Lord, I am not worthy that thou shalt come under my roof, but speak the word only, and my servant shall be healed. For I am a man under authority, having soldiers under me, and I say to this man, Go, and he goeth, and to another, Come, and he cometh, and to my servant, Do this, and he doeth. When Jesus heard it, he marveled and said to them that followed, Verily I say unto you, I have not found so great faith, no, not in Israel. He's praising Gaius, or the centurion, for having so much faith, because of having these things he's seen. He's just built so much faith on Jesus. He's like, if you just say the word, this servant boy, he's going to be healed. And so the message I'm trying to share with you is Jesus and God's power is only limited by your own belief. As Jesus was talking about, you only need a mustard seed of faith. But the more faith you have, the more power Jesus has. He was able to heal the servant boy from just saying it. He didn't need to be around him. He didn't need to see him or nothing. But if the person had less faith, as Gaius had less faith, and said, "Yes, let me bring you into my home," blah blah blah, then he would have had to go to the home healing. And there's another place in here. In Matthew. I've just highlighted so much stuff. It's hard to find what I wanted to share. Anyway, there was a point where he asked the man, "Do you believe I can heal you? Do you have faith?" And the man was like, "Yeah." And then he was cured of blindness. I believe it was blindness, right? Spirit. The main message is the more faith you have in Jesus, the more capable, the more miracles, the more he's gonna have influence over your life. The more miracles he's gonna be able to perform. The more thoughts that you're gonna have of him. So it's gonna be easier to make decisions in the day, or not necessarily easier, but you're gonna have more of a discernment for the choices that you make throughout the day. You're gonna be like, would this align with the life that Jesus would laid out? Would Jesus want me to do this? Would he not want me to do this? The more that you have faith, the more you get into the Word, the more you pray, the more you think about Him, the more you rely on Jesus. I'll tell you this. I was just watching this video in which I will see here.